Hello, so I want to show you how I made this website. This is a Netflix clone. Um, what I have logo, some background, sign in, then the header, email address, try it now, then I have Jumbotron like this. Then I have FAQs, email address, try it now, and some borders, and the footer. Plus this size is resizable, so if you resize, it's resizing nicely like this. Okay, so this is our React project. In the app. Let me tell you about the structure, because in the public we have images, videos, and obviously index HTML. In the source we have components, constant, containers, fixtures, pages, and we have app.js, global style.js, index.js. We also have logo. So in the index.js we have div id root, obviously, and then we inject here. So in the index.js of source, you have React from React, render from React DOM. This is a named import, so we don't have to type React DOM.render, just render, and then inside it it has it basically injects global styles and app into document get element by id root, so that will be in the root. So we have global styles, and in global styles this is all in the source. In global styles we have create global styles from styled components. We're basically using styled components. This is a really good library because it creates everything like divs, headers, images, and even create global styles. So when we create a CSS, it has to be export constant, then name global styles equals create global styles tilde, and then semicolon. So we change HTML and body to background color black, because those images are black here and the background needs to be black too. Some font family, Helvetica, Arial, Sans serif. Then font size 16 pixels, that will be in the email and on the buttons. Then some browsers options. So in the package.json we downloaded styled components. We have React scripts, React router DOM, React router, React, normalized CSS. So this border is taking the whole width. We have Vue.js and Firebase, which I will do in the next part. We also have dev dependencies, GitHub pages, ESLint, and ESLint plugin React. So in the application, actually, we are downloading home browser sign-in, sign-up pages from pages. We import everything from routes, and routes are in the constants folder. And basically the app is one router that has routes, and each route is a different address on the website. So it has to be exact path, because if you don't do exact path, then it just doesn't work, and it can randomly pick other website, whichever is closer or has similar backslash. So for example, here we have route to the home, and then we render the page home. exact path to route sign in, we have sign in, and then route exact path to sign up, browse. Okay, so then we have the pages. Here we can import everything in a one curly braces because we have index.js in that pages, and we have export the default as home from home, default as browse from browse, and default as sign in from sign in. When we have curly braces, it means named import, or it means that we are entering the JavaScript world. So, for example, here we have import React from React, export the default function signup. We are exporting this, and in the sign in and browse we have only started. For example, if I go to the browse, hello from the browse, right? If I click on Netflix, it goes to the home page. If I go to sign in, it's a sign in. Hello from sign in. But home is actually completed fully, so how does it work? Let's start from the bottom. We have the footer, right? We have the footer, then we have the FAQs, then we have the Jumbotron. This is the Jumbotron, this is FAQs, this is the footer, and here we have the header container. This is the header container, and we have a feature. The feature is in the middle, so the feature can change anytime, and everything inside the feature is the children. And I will explain what it is in the next video. We also have fixtures. Basically, this is the data for FAQs and also for the Jumbotron. So this is basic JSON. We have a table of objects. We have ID, title, subtitle, image, address, direction, because we have reverse direction in here. In FAQs, we also have table of objects, ID, header, body. In containers, we have FAQs container, footer container, header container, Jumbotron container. We also have constants which are routes to the sites. We have browse, sign up, sign in. Also we have components. The components we basically everywhere we have I mean in the pages we have index.js, and also in the components we have index.js to make easy import. So here we are importing default as accordion from accordion, export default as Jumbotron from Jumbotron, basically the same as in pages, right? And here we have opt form. In every single component we have styles folder, because someone can add different styles, for example, and index. We have folder of styles and index. In the styles folder we have a JavaScript file for the styles. Basically this everything is the same. See, so we have accordion, feature, footer, header, Jumbotron, and opt form. For example, if we go to the accordion, this is the accordion. That's the accordion. This is some accordion header. We have a feature. This is our feature. This is our feature. No, I mean this is our feature. This is opt form. This is opt form, and this is opt form used twice. We have a footer. We have a header. We have Jumbotron. Yeah. But what about the FAQs? Jumbotron, header, footer, accordion. Oh, this is Jumbotron. Wait. Jumbotron, opt form. Okay, because this is accordion and also opt form, right? This is jumbotron, op form, accordion. Yeah, accordion because it opens and hides. Alright, so that was the intro. Next I will talk about specific area. I think I will start from the footer. So now about the footer. If we go to the app.js, in the app.js we have only routes. And we have also route to home. The home the home component is in the pages in the page home, and we actually have footer container in here. So what do we have? We have some title, we have some text, and some rows and columns. Basically, we had rows and columns, but I just made one row, and this is resizable. See, and it's not going to be 4 or more, because if we go to the Netflix, the original Netflix, they have 2 rows and then maximum amount of 4. So I tried my best to improve this, because I've made a tutorial on this, and there's basically Carl Hadwin made rows and 4 columns, but it doesn't make any sense, and I just made one row with links, and it's more scalable. So basically what we have, if we go to the styles footer, if we go to the index, what are we gonna need, right? So basically we always have a container, and that container is a div. So first we import styled components from styled components macro, then export constant container, and then display has to be flex. But now let me tell you about this. This import basically imports everything from the styles folder, container, row, column, link, title, text break from the styles footer, and then we export default function footer that takes children first and rest of the props, and it returns containers. So basically the entire footer returns containers that returns children. Okay, remember this, it returns children. And then in the containers of header we have the header, footer. So we have a footer container. Footer imported from components index, right? So this is a footer which returns a container. Footer returns a container that has children. So this footer in our footer, this footer imported from that index I just showed you, has those children. Those are the children. And if I go to the DevTools here, and I go to the footer, this is the footer container, see? Footer container. Also I have names here because I have styled components macro. And the footer container has padding 25, 25, 50, 50. If I go to the index, if I go to the styles, then a media max with 1000 means if I'm less than 1000 pixels, which I am because currently I'm 672, then I'm using this padding, right? and this padding is 2550, which is exactly this. And if I go more than 1000, which will be now, see, then the padding changes. 30, 200. But actually, I don't know why does it change so quickly. It changes at 7500. It changes at 7500, which doesn't make any sense. If I change this to 7500, will it be different? It's kind of strange now. It's kind of strange. Maxed with 900 padding. Ah, okay, I see. I see. Because actually Chrome gives wrong sizing. Because it says 760 and it's actually more than that. It's actually 848 plus 50 padding on both sides. The maxed width is 900. Maxed width of this container. Currently it's 969.6. $977. And then it jumps to 980. The padding 30, so it's a top bottom and 100 is left and right. Margin is auto, so do we have any margins? We don't. Flexible, flex direction column. It's a little bit weird. We have margin. Margin is getting smaller and smaller. Then we don't have any margin. Margin 20. At 980. At 980 we change. But it should be exactly 1000. I don't know why at 750 we change. Maybe that's because of some other styles. Styles containers. No, it is 750 not present. The body of accordion. Hmm, container max with 1000. Container of header. Container of header. Jumbotron background. Jumbotron container accordion footer. No. Header background. We have header container. So basically header background is the parent of header container. Yes. Header container we have 56. Right. I'm checking the margin and padding. So it changes at 750 also. Changes at 750. I just want to know why it changes at 780 instead of 1000. So weird. The container of this 45 and 970. Um, maybe max width, min width, max width, min width, footer container, feature container, um, and then we have opt form, style editor, and then we have header container, we have breakpoints. Maybe because of that. Yep, it was zoomed in. So now if I go to the footer, it should work. Footer container, where is that? Footer container. And footer styles. Yep. See, now it's changing at what at 1000. That was weird. So because the website was zoomed in, that's because of that. As always, Stack Overflow works. Okay, anyway. So as you can see, maxed with 1000, it's changing to the default, which is more than 1000 pixels. If it's more than 1000, it changes to this. Okay. So we have this is flexible. In this container, everything is flexible. Flex direction is in column. If I change it to row, if I change it to row, then this becomes a row. Basically, this is one row. Basically, this is a row of questions, then FAQs, and the Netflix data, right? I click Ctrl S. So the max width of this is 900 of this container. See, the maximum is 900 always. And it's changing like that because the margin is auto, because the display is flex. It's not changing because we have maxed. It's not changing. It's not going more than 900 because of the max with 900. The margin is auto, so it stays in the center. Because if I put any other margin, for example 30 pixel, it's not going to be in the center. See, it's not in the center. But if it's auto, then it's centered. So I've already explained padding, and this padding display is flexible, so I can put the flex direction in column. This is column 1 element, second element, third element. Okay. Next we have export constant column. This is a div, display is flexible, flex direction column, text align left. We have a title and row. Actually, we don't have column. We are not using column because we just have a row. Originally, it was idea with rows and 4 columns, but it's way better with just 1 row and direction flex. So here we have a row, export constant row, which is displayed in a grid. This is a grid. And grid template columns, this is a template for the columns. We are repeating with autofill. So this is very important because grid template columns, it autofills this grid when it has space for it. Okay. And the min max is 185. So the min max 185 pixels. So this is the minimum value 185 and maximum is infinity. Basically this is flexible. 1FR means flexible. CSS min max. Grid template columns, and then so flex, FR means flexible, see? The track's flex factor. Each flex size track takes a share of the remaining space in proportion to its flex factor. When appearing outside the min-max notion, it implies an automatic minimum auto flex. So basically minimum 185 pixel and it's flexible. So in the footer row we have links. So every single link, the minimum value is 185. And you can see it's 191 right now, and it's not going to be lower than this, because if I change this, for example, to 100 to demonstrate you, now it's 127, see? And now it's actually 100, see? So this is a grid template columns, autofill, and every item, the minimum value of each item is 100 pixels and it's flexible. The minimum value of item is 100 pixels and it's flexible. The grid gap is 15. So the grid gap is the orange. If I change this to 0, then or to 100. The grid gap is actually not working, but margin bottom will be just below this area. So for example, 115, that's the margin bottom. Why the grid gap is not working? The grid gap CSS. Grid gap CSS. The grid gap CSS so here we have a gap of 20 and 5. So the grid gap property defines the size of the gap between the rows and columns in the grid layout and is shortened property of the following. But it's not working. It's not working. Grid gap is 50. The grid gap is 50, but I don't know why. 100. Margin bottom grid template grid. It's not even in the CSS. I don't know why it's not in the CSS. Grid gap, unknown property name. Are you serious? This should be grid. This should be grid, not grip. And then we can go 1, 0. Actually, it should be 5. Probably it should be something like 5. Or even 4. I just don't like that grid gap. It looks more like Netflix without the grid. Okay, so we had the column, display flex direction column. We don't use the column, we use the row. So grid template columns, repeat autofill min-max. So in this container we autofilling with objects that are 185 pixels minimum width. And this flexible grid cap is 0, margin bottom 15. Okay. Then we have the link. Those are the links. Font size is 16. Color is like this. Margin bottom 40. If I change this margin bottom, it will be smaller. I mean, link. Link. This is the link. Margin bottom 10. It's smaller. Probably 15 will be a little bit better. A little bit better. Yes, because if I go full screen, let me check. Margin bottom 16. Okay, so margin bottom will be 16 and that should look exactly the same. Okay, so that was the link. Then we have a title. This is the title. We have font size 16, color margin bottom is 40. Then we have this text. The margin bottom here is 10, color and font size 13. Then we have a break which we don't use. That's used to be here and here, but in Netflix we don't have that. Okay, so basically that's it. We are importing that from the styles footer that I just showed you, and then we're creating footer.row, footer.column, which is a function footer row that takes the children, the object of children, then rest props. And we return the row because this is footer row. We return the row. Footer column, we have function footer column that takes children, then rest of the props, we return column, then everything is the same basically. It takes the children, break takes children, rest children here, and then break takes rest of the props. Okay, in the containers we have the row text, footer.text. So those are the children. The FAQ is the children and href equals something is rest props. This is the rest of the props of link and the name is children. Those are the children of single component of footer.link. So I think that's everything about that. That was the footer container from containers footer, from this footer. So basically this, and this is from components index, and this is taken from styles. So basically styled components is the heart and it's hold, and the main part is the container, which is a div, column is a div, everything is a div, link is A, title is P, text is P, break is P. Okay.